You have this Dingle. You know Dingle from Michigan? Debbie Dingle, that's a real beauty. So she calls me up like 8 months ago. Her husband was here a long time. But I didn't give him the B treatment. I didn't give him the C or the D. I could have. Nobody would have, you know. I gave the A+ treatment. She calls me up. It's the nicest thing that's ever happened. Thank you so much. John would be so thrilled. He's looking down. He'd be so thrilled. Thank you so much, sir. I said, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Maybe he's looking up. I don't know.
So many things going on there. I'm duty-bound to point out that the Endangered Species Act, Clean Air, Clean Water, Civil Rights Act would not look the same, arguably, without John Dingell in Congress. He represented Michigan. That's where the rally was. Dingell, you could hear the repetition. It sounds funny to him, the joke about him looking up from hell. Even the pro forma nature of being president and allowing a burial with full military honors. He's buried in Arlington for a World War II veteran. He assigned that to kind of favor status, but it started with the pronunciation of the name.
You know, it's interesting. He's sitting there using the name and he's implying that it sounds like some kind of genital, and well, isn't that funny? But of course, it reminds you of, you know, Uncle whoever, that counselor at camp. Everything about the man is easy. He's always easy. And so, for example, never mind the history of the man who he's talking about and his significance. Donald Trump has the historical sense of roughly a kitchen cabinet. The past doesn't matter except as possibly it flatters him in the present. Once again, it's about orality. Before you can write history down, people tend to preserve history in their heads, often with some one or two people who remember the history. And the history tends to be massaged to fit the needs of people living difficult lives in the present. Just mastering details such as what Franklin Pierce's wife's name was is not important if you don't have paper to preserve those meaningless details. That's what he's doing. And so he has this pre-literate sense of how history works. And then just the meanness. You know, if you talk to an actor, they'll often tell you that as fascinating as it is to watch somebody being angry in a play, anger is easy. If somebody doesn't know how to act yet, it's fairly easy to have a tantrum on stage. What's difficult is getting on stage and conveying things such as genuine happiness or remorse or ambiguity. And notice how those three things are utterly alien from anything we've seen of Trump. What you see is a certain joy in making fun of other people. This is a truly inferior person to be leading this nation. And the bit with Dingell, he ought to be utterly ashamed of himself. And yet, as we know, life will go on, and that thing could possibly be reelected because that's how life works. We've unleashed something that's truly frightening.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.